All right, you got time? You got time today? That's cool. No, this is not strong enough. This isn't strong enough. He needs to be like, literally like, I gotta actually make this feel like homie is discombobulated. Like his fingers are doing like weird positions. Like this is not supposed to feel like he's just being inconvenienced. Like his whole fronts are jacked up now. You know, it's danger, Will Robinson
Uh,
at
I
this
see what you
point,
did.
right? And so he should be malfunctioning. The type of damage that's being done to his cerebral processing unit should cause, massive mess ups. Um, Shannon, I was telling folks that you had done some cool work on one of Greg's books, and I said, man, I am looking forward to getting you on a cover for Tuskegee because you good, and I've been excited for that for a while. So I think I'm gonna get you to draw the young baddie from this one, from this issue 5. But to make it unique, right? Because I've already drawn him. I would like him to be drawn with his weapon, sir. So that I actually, you know what? I'll be honest with y'all. I haven't really designed the weapon formally, but you guys have watched me design robots live on this channel. And that's okay that I haven't designed it yet. You guys will probably get to see that to a degree, and because it needs to not be, because I'm not trying to copy off of anybody, but at the same time, I got inspiration from somebody in this well-known franchise that won't be named at this time, but just know that it's okay, man. Not everybody, and it's okay to be inspired by stuff. I need that to be breaking his face like a lot.
Whoa, calm down. Take it
No, no,
easy.
no. That's the opposite of what needs to happen. So it needs to be like this. See, he was looking the wrong way. You see that? See what happened? I changed that from that to where he's looking. Like if he had eyeballs, his eyeballs would be like here. You know what I'm saying? And he's looking like off to this direction, like, oh my gosh. And all of the stuff
You know what I'm saying?
and he's to his like head like that.
All right,
But,
good
but,
here.
but I'm gonna be honest. This is not far enough. He's not pushing it. So we're gonna zoom out a little bit more. Hold on. Let's try it again. Almost there. Wait.
Margot, did I see Margot popping in here early? Yeah,
Margot Jenkins?
She usually come in like when it's time to go.
Correct. She know what she's doing. She knew what she was doing. She's like, I'm gonna skip all that talking. Come in right as it's ending. Oh no, you guys are ending the thing already. Like that. I know what you're doing. I know what happened. Try. So like this, right? So his arm is here. Here. We got this. We got that. We got that. And then we got this right here. All right. That feels a little bit better. I think we get a little bit more strenuous here. And then that force hopefully comes through. And if it doesn't, I'm gonna make it come through. Okay? That's how we work around here.
No, just give up.
Nah. Want that. We do it.
She said, who's Margot Jenkins? That's your maiden name.
Correct.
Margot Jenkins.
Right. Everybody knows that, you can't fight the names that have been given to you. Okay? You can try.
Right.
You can try. It's standard practice in African American culture is until you fight and win to stop said names. You just kind of have to accept for what it is, man. That's your name for right now. and it may be a little jarring, to deal with because you're not used to that. But for now,
But the big point is that you can get used to it.
there you go. And then you'll have to explain it to other people. No, that's not my name. It's just what they call me. See what I'm saying? And then everybody will fall in line. I thought your name was Margot Jenkins. Like that. Don't even worry about it at that point. Schmackies right there. And then we'll have speed lines. It'll be great. Speed lines here. All right, we're going to get this one done. Yeah, I think that'll work. All right, let's do that. Shannon, this is gonna be for you to see this process. I'm gonna do this just for the sake of get this thing out of the way.
She said we better be glad she loves us.
I'm glad. I don't know about Greg.
Yeah, I'll think about it.
See?
Today was not a good day for me to be glad about nothing. I'm just gonna be honest.
That's a terrible thing to say, huh?
Yeah, it's been some haberdashery happening in the world.
Okay. Well, did you fight?
No.
That's a real question.
I'm a lover, not a fighter.
That's not true, man. Come on, man.
I don't understand why. I see the comments, William. I see your comments coming through on StreamYard, but I do not see them coming through on the actual. Okay, now I do. False alarm. Nothing to see here.
Is it a false alarm, man, or is it an alarm that just determining is false?
A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Okay, seems like you're trying to make it out. So, all right, quick exhibition, you guys. Let me show this process. I'm not gonna color him in. I don't color right now. We're not coloring this part. Listen, man, this is just so I can show my boy Shannon.
You better hurry up before Teresa gets over here.
I was about to say she's in the room. She's in the room.
Oh no! That means you gotta color the whole book.
I'm just gonna color his head and maybe a little bit of his jacket. That's it. Look at that. I'm coloring their hair in all black.
Wow, what'd you do that for?
Listen, man, I don't answer questions, okay? Right? Sometimes things change.
I've seen you. So William said this is like the most prelim sketching layout stuff I've seen Marcus do on this journey before going to inks. Yeah. Like there's actual details and stuff. He was talking about the previous panel.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. I think you were vibing when you was laying out, and you got But I think it's gonna make it a little bit easier for this part of the process, right?
Yes.
Because you already detailed stuff out.
Yes.
And then here comes Teresa, the color czar, talking about color.
we're so used to color here in America, but again, man, we don't really need that stuff. Not if we do our job. If I do my job right, color is just like icing on a cake, man. The cake should still be good without the color. You know what I mean? All right, so I'm doing it quick, Shannon, but a lot of times I'll put the flat color, right? I'll add the shadows, and then I'll go back and get the highlights, right? Now, I am doing this just to kind of show the basic layout of it. This shot is actually going to be really, really high contrast, where the lighting is coming from this rocket boost that's happening at the base of his hammer. So the actual colors are not going to be like this, but I wanted to at least show you the process of it. And it goes like this. But what we were talking about is, there's several different ways to approach it. You can go flats, you can go monotones, you can go, just making sure you lock in the value. What I'm doing right now is I got the skin tone already locked in. I've colored this piece, so I know all of the colors of him. So I like to actually, I could do this in monotone if I wanted to, but it's like the cool part to me is, like I said, when you, you know what I'll put a reference to? The same is through anatomy is the same thing, where you may study anatomy for 10 years, and it doesn't mean that you can't draw every character doing exactly what you want them to be doing, because you understand the anatomy. But that doesn't necessarily give you, you know, a full understanding of every single different type of position of the fingers, you know, hands shaking right tightly. You may not have seen that before, right, in real life, or you've never paid attention to it to say, okay, I'm gonna draw, you know, how do I draw hands shaking tightly? And so you'll do the best attempt that you can, but that may need reference. So color, in my opinion, is like, I can reference color, but I'd rather really you study the actual anatomy, you study the color just the same way, but it is a whole nother world, man. Like, you have to really dive in to understand, you know, why is, like, if you're watching a movie, that's where a lot of times the people, they turn their brain off artistically, and I'm like, no, you really have to like pause on some of these scenes, because they're directed by a director of photography, and the director of photography is like, I need this mood to be high intensity, very scary, or, you know, moody. I want it to feel, I want these feelings to come through, but they choose color and light, right? So you'll get red tones, you'll get, you know, you're in a club, but it's like all of this blue light, and it's almost like your brain isn't paying attention to saying, oh, this would be a really dope layout in my comic. You know, your brain isn't thinking like that. But if you start, literally pick any really, really dope movie that has a lot of great, you know, directions of photography, man, they got amazing shots that if you paused it and had to illustrate it, it would come out freaking fantastic. But that's where you have to study it. It doesn't just jump into your brain, just like anatomy. You have to really study anatomy. And the more you study it, the easier it comes to say, oh, okay, cool. I need this, this needs to go here. But the color is no different. You have to really just like force it in your brain. And the longer you do it, the easier it becomes. So as you've seen just now, I'm actually starting with flats. I go from flats, then I go to shadows, then I go to actual, you know, highlights. Then I got a luminosity layer that I love to use for any kind of, you know, brights and tones and really high color blooms and stuff like that. So it pulls out the actual highlights really good where I need it to. But then guess what? You still ain't done. I don't know if you can see it you can't see it on Instagram because it's, I'd have to point the camera over there, but I got a layer that's called rim lighting. All right. So in this rim layer, I say, okay, I got bounce lighting here. This is kind of bounce lighting on the side of his face. These are little highlights and stuff like that. But then you got rim light. Rim light is literally only on the edges of the character's face. So then there's flats, there's the shadows, then there's rim light. And I'm like, all of this was not in my brain. You can look back in 2015, I was not studying this. I didn't even apply it. I just did the basic, you know, colors. And I was like, yeah, that looks fine. And it did for the most part. I was happy with it, but I wasn't studying rim. I wasn't studying bounce. I wasn't studying ambient lighting. So all of this stuff comes out over time as you start looking at real life, looking at other digital colorists, looking at different types of approaches to color. All of this stuff started just to compound. I'm like, oh, I wasn't even thinking about that. The choices of color that you pick, I don't use, anytime you see me use like pink or fuchsia or anything like that, that is not me. That is me channeling somebody else's who understands color way more than I do. Because I'm like, dude, I never use these colors. Why don't I use these colors? And sure enough, I didn't have a good answer. So the more I studied other people's approaches to color, I'm like, I need to start using the full, spectrum of color, full spectrum of all these beautiful, neons and crazy, colors that I never touched. And I'm like, what made these people use these colors? This is not normal colors. You don't see this in normal life, but it really, really adds a lot of depth and value to the shop.
So I want to read what Shannon's saying.
Go ahead.
So he's saying, it's funny that you say that about anatomy, because I've studied anatomy and line work the most. We can tell by how you draw, sir.
Correct.
But he says, but I've gotten better by actually drawing. So probably I just need to color and just put it out there.
Yes.
And then he's asking, why does it start with blue? You're blacking it out. That's the same question everybody has when they see this software in Paint Tool Sci, right? This is the selection color, this purplish bluish color right here. Like I can draw my selection, see? But that's just a selection. When I press the brush tool, it all just turns into marching ants, right? And then when I go back to my selection tool, I can actually select by drawing what I want to be selected next. This selection tool is, this base color is this purple, and it always confuses everybody. And it's like, no, it's not that color. It's okay. That's not the color I'm using, but that's the default color tone that it uses to identify what you're selecting. So then when I go to close and I switch the brush and I fill those areas, this is the actual color that's being I know it's confusing. It does that to everybody. It was confusing to me when I first saw it. I was like, why the heck is it doing this purple? I didn't choose this. And somebody had to break it down to me. I was like, oh, okay, good, because I was getting upset. I was like, I didn't choose that color, stop playing with me. But yeah, that's the default color. But yeah, man, don't be afraid to approach it. When I said it depends, there is no right answer, is what I was trying to tell you. You get to pick what is most comfortable to you. There's no right or wrong way. Just like with much of all of art, it's what you enjoy doing, your preference, what makes your brain happy. Because I don't like doing art math. I call it art math. When you have to draw and set up these guidelines on faces before you start drawing the face. It's not that it doesn't work, because like I said, even with this color thing, it works. Because there's times Greg got to see where I was like, nope, something's wrong. And he's like, what are you talking about? How did you know there was something wrong? I was like, I could see it. Even though I'm drawing it, I'm like, nah, something's not right. And I didn't do enough art math to actually like set the face guidelines so everything was lined up right. And that's what happens sometimes if you're too confident and you don't warm up and you're just kind of barreling forward. You can still make mistakes, but that's okay. The point is to get better at it. And if you're afraid to practice, man, and show the world that you're getting there, that's you're kind of missing the point, in my opinion. It's okay to mess up. It's okay to start somewhere. So what? See, for me, I'm old school. I like this color line, like just coloring the whole thing in, like a coloring book, because number one, I don't know how to use all that fancy stuff. And number two, it's not meant to be good. So,
right.
I think it's cool.
It's cool, man.
William had a good comment. He was saying, I've always wondered why manga can get away without having color, but with American comics, it's considered taboo to not have color unless it's a specific type of book. That's I think it's just like what you train people to like. You know what I mean? Because I remember I used to go through, and it's not comics, but comic strips. My grandma used to have those books like Beetle Bailey and Dennis the Menace, like all these different, and it would just be full of strips. And I would read those, it's like you don't have any problems, but then
Mhm.
we get to a point where it's like, you want everything in color. It's interesting. But I think there's
That
also,
I was gonna say that, and Japanese people go so dang hard with even black and white that it's like you can't feel any kind of way because it's like, oh my god, you drew an entire city and it's look at all these details. I would never want to draw that, but they go so hard, man, and it's like I can't imagine ever drawing that much for seven look every week. And for Shonen Jump, they do like several pages every week, and it goes ridiculously hard. So sometimes you're like, I don't care if it was colored or not. It's just beautiful. It's a masterpiece, and they use the little half tones and screen tones and all that stuff, and it looks fantastic. So they can get away with it, in my opinion, because it's still dope. Just the fact that it has no color doesn't detract from the actual skill that it took to draw it. So, but American audiences are spoiled in that, right? Yeah, they want to.
But also, and this is one of the things I was going to speak to, and this is not for any of the wonderful people that are on this stream or that might see the stream, but haven't we overall, haven't we been like kind of dumbed down to where like the appreciation of like the art, like the appreciation of skill is not there? And this has been, being done in so many different ways. So it's like, because we talk about it all the time. Like in manga, you can have a book, or an anime, you can have a story about fruits fighting each other. Like you can, there's so much more creativity that you're allowed to get away with. Where if like you went to one of these publishers and was like, yo, I got this story, they'll be like, yeah, I don't think people will get it. Like literally, we hear like, when I'm pitching like something that's creative or outside of the box, just as a whole, they're always like, I don't know how that's gonna sell. So it's like, but I've thought about this when it comes to music, when it comes to movies, as long as the people that are putting the stuff out have that kind of mind state, then you're gonna keep kind of making the stuff that people like, and then it kind of boxes everybody into this one space. And then you see something like Sinners or Weapons, like stuff like that come out and take the world by storm. But it's because it's different than everything that's out there. So, because I was gearing up. This publisher wanted to do one of my ideas as a manga before they had like some issues, and so I was like reading and studying up on it. And like you said, it's like the art is dynamic. They put a lot of time and effort into it to where you don't mind if it's not colorful.
Correct. Especially if the skill is like off the charts, and you could push it to color, and it would, if you get the right process, the right colors on it, it would be even more amazing. Yes, but it's like without color, it's already beaten out like 9 out of 10 projects anywhere else, and you're like, okay, I thought I needed color, but I guess I don't. It's that good.
Yeah, Shannon said it. American comics are way too committee focused.
Yeah.
But I know, like I said, I've sat in some of these rooms, and like, it's not a malicious thing on a lot of people's part. It's just the bottom line is the most important thing to a lot of publishers. So it's not about like bending the genre, like extending or adding to, and then at the same time they do that, they'll sit and recognize that manga is whooping their ass,
whooping their whole
and so it's like you get it. Like, I'm genuinely concerned because like the kids, they want to read manga. Like, it was it wasn't BlairCon. I was somewhere, and like when I was in Louisiana, the lady, she was, her daughter wanted Bridges. She was like, I want this book, so she got it. And then she talking to her son, like, this Tuskegee Heirs looks like it'll be good for you. And he's like, no. And she's like, you don't think it'll be? No. And that was a thing. I wanted to make a post, but you never know if these people are following you. But I wanted to make a post and just ask, like, as a parent, it wasn't that with me. It was, here, I'm getting you this book and you're going to read it, you know?
Correct.
But, because we already know what happens once they actually read it. But yeah, but, you know, it's like that little boy, he was looking for manga. He didn't want nothing to do with any of the comics that was there. He said it. I went, manga. What you gonna do, man? Right. So, what like mainstream comics? They realize they're marketing, they're creating and they're marketing to older people. Right. But it's like, do y'all want to give it a shot? Y'all want to try to, you know, get to the children a little bit? Because those children are going to turn to old people. And they're going to be reading manga, and then what you going to do?
Sure. Yeah. And that's another part where there's so much of it. In comparison to what we have in America, man, the market of comic art in Japan, and you know, we can say Japan. I don't even have to say anybody else. They are so just inundated with so many options of great, and I mean masterpiece art on a regular basis. I told my kids, I said, we're at this point, they're spoiled so much that they can watch an entire amazing piece of animation and like, that was dope. I can't wait for next week, you know? And it's like, I'm like, no, stop. Listen to yourselves, all right? Y'all need to cut this out, man. That was amazing. We need to watch it again. I'm gonna watch it 3 more times before I move on to the next thing. That took them people at least 6 months to create that one 30-minute episode. And it's movie level. I'm talking about movie level quality animation. I'm not talking about it was a nice, you know, scene here or there. No. These people pouring their hearts out on it, like this crazy amount of animation. And we're so used to it, or we've become so used to it, that it's like, oh, that was dope. That was fantastic. Oh man, that was dope. All right, well, back to waiting for the next episode. And I'm like, I never want to like get to the point where I'm just so spoiled to how amazing that was that I don't really appreciate it. Because that's I think that's the worst thing you could do, is pretend like that's normal. It's so not normal, y'all. It's fantastic. So that's the stuff where I'm like, man, they get it all week, every week. And Shonen Jump, they're just in anime and everything else. They get so much good comic art all the time, and it's normal. It's normal for that culture to get it. So hold on, this doesn't make sense. This needs to be right down here because the light source is down here. You dig? So all of that is going to be coming from here. You see what I'm saying, Shannon? Nothing that this is the process I like to do. So I'll get flats, I'll get shadows, I'll get highlights, and then I'll go with lighting in that order for me. It's flats, shadows, highlights, and then lighting. Rim light, bounce light, ambient light, and then any other special effects that I get. Like if you look at this one, this was done in 2015. He has some rim lighting, but this I was trying to shoot for simplified, like, you know, maybe 3-tone, as if it was animated on purpose. But in the comics, I can really get away with doing a lot more stuff. So that's what's up. Good. Hopefully it helps, man. You know, you're a juggernaut. You will have no problem finding what works for you process-wise. It's just don't be afraid at all, because you have to start somewhere. Greg remembers where I was because he was here. He put out Starving Artists. We got that, you know, on the table.
Because I, you know, one of the things that I've always regretted in that book is that I didn't get my coloring credits because I colored some flats. And this is when I knew Marcus was more than just a good artist. Because when I would screw something up, he would be like, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. We just got to go in. And then I dig down after I learned more about the flatting process. I'm sure in his mind he was like, how the hell do you screw up color? But yeah, man, I want my credit.
You can listen, man. You get to publish the book. You're the publisher, so.
Oh, that's true.
Hey man, right here, just slide my name in right here.
Look, I like to talk to management.
Right.
I am management.
Right.
Shannon, you said you. Okay, two things, Shannon, because I don't know how much longer you're gonna be on here. The Sadaka graphic novel, I think I mentioned to you that it got picked up by Rosarium Publishing. It's going to be released on the 5th of May. I'm definitely going to send one to you. And then I was wondering, you said you free time. You ain't got free time. Because I got this one idea. But we'll talk about that. Oh, you know what else Shannon would be good on? Dwayne Kelly.
Yeah, but I gotta get him on some action stuff, man. He's got some good. No, I mean like some adventure, straight up raw fighting. Remember I told you his sensei is Ryan Otley, from Invincible. So Shannon is a student of that guy, and that guy is god dang it nuts. And so I understand the energy that he was trained in, and that is why I'm saying I gotta get him on some hardcore, crazy, somebody biting somebody's head off.
Yeah, see, I have one of those.
Right, that's why I was like, listen, man.
Look, I have one that I have in the chamber, right. And I actually have been, I talked to a couple people that are interested. It would be something that I'm looking to pitch. One of the things I'm learning that seems to be working is when you pitch, like if you create like a 10-pager, so they can see that you know what you're doing. Yeah. Don't create a full book, just 10 pages so they can get the gist of where you're going with it. Right. And then you send it to them. They're like, oh, this is cool. Right. Sometimes they don't even care about color. They just want to make sure that you got But I got some good tips from some good people to where I want to try to implement this new plan. And I did it on one book inadvertently, and we're talking about possibly them these people publishing it, but I'm trying to get this other stuff I owe them first. William has a good, it's long, but it's good. I feel like it adds something to our conversation. He says, this is one of the best things about mainstreaming of indie comics in the internet era. The mainstream comic industry, due to the 90s near collapse of the direct market, has become conditioned to giving fans what they want because it's guaranteed money. The entire mainstream industry, pre-ordering and all that, is focused on the sure money, even if it's less than the potential larger market out there. Fortunately, that creates avenues for independent creators, such as ourselves. I 1,000,000% agree, because, we don't, we might not get stuff like Crescent City Monsters by Newton Villavois. Right. Like some of this Niobe by Stranger Comic, like some of these amazing books, because if you would have walked in and pitched them, like I got.
Who's this book for exactly? Well, our numbers show that female leads are okay, but I think we'd be doing. So sorry, no. And
I had a literary agent. She was like kind of hounding me for some time. So I was like, let me see what's up with this one, because the last one I had, it did not go well. Yeah. It wasn't my fault, y'all. So I sent her some of the stuff, and she was like, well, this is fantastic, but I don't know if I have the voice to be able to, speak to this. I don't know if this is my wheelhouse. I'm like, what you ask me for? But it's always that. It's like they always are like, I don't know how I'm gonna sell it.
Right. And they could be honest. They could be being honest to say, because we've actually, had that happen for real, which is if you give something that you know exactly who the audience is, what you're trying to say, and if you give it to somebody else to try and pitch it, they may not have the chops, they may not even be connected, they may not even be the audience, so their excitement and that's the kind of stuff where they may be telling you the truth.
No, I appreciated the honesty, because I'm not gonna waste a lot of time.
Right.
But we already know that. We know that from
everything else. Tuskegee.
When we were pitching Tuskegee, it's like
correct.
From now on, like I don't need nobody that doesn't understand
correct
what this is. And
we don't even need to talk about all this other stuff. We just gonna have pilots and missions. And that's it. No. What? Well, I mean,
right.
Why do you think that would be a thing?
That should be, that should be a skit. Hey, y'all, we got to line this up real quick.
All right.
So we're in the pitch process. We got like yes, it's time, man.
Right.
We got like a juggernaut agent that's in our, like, that can get meetings. Like, hey, you guys want to talk to such and such tomorrow? Oh,
yes.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
And then we're talking to such and such tomorrow. So we got, he wants to attach his producer, and we don't have any ill will towards any of these people. Let me say that.
Correct.
They were really trying. So, we start, we let him see the books, all of that. He understands it. He wants to age the book down because he thinks that this will be good for, age 5 through 8. And we're like, it's kind of good for everybody, but he wants to age it down. So we're like still in that time. We're in that time where it's like, well, we want to get this show made. So we go through this whole process of aging the book down, where it's the concepts aren't as sophisticated, the stakes aren't as high, all that good stuff, right? So we get in with this really, I don't want to do name drops, but it's a studio y'all all heard of, y'all all know. And so the lady, like, she had got the books in advance. So she was like, well, this is cool. I really like the concept, but truthfully, we're looking for more sophisticated serial type animated series. And so then it was like, abada. And I was like, do y'all remember that scene in 5 Heartbeats where that dude was playing the piano and Duck was dying inside because he needed to be playing the piano? I just kind of like, I got to that point. I just like, move out the way. Listen.
Right.
And then
funny thing you should mention that, because that's exactly what the actual thing is about.
And so we started like, breaking it down and telling her all the stuff. And she's like, oh yeah, that's what I kind of figured it would be more. And she was like, hype. Like, we got the verbal, and then some stuff happened beyond our control. But that was when we realized, nah, we can't just let anybody, speak for it, because they'll be in there like, like saying just stuff that. But
it was almost like he was like, this is too complicated to begin with. We're just going just this, and nothing else. And we're like, I mean, that's fine if you think that's what you. But as soon as they said that in the meeting, it's like, listen, first off, we're glad you said that, because that's what the comic is about. That's actually what it's about. So, and then we started talking it, and then the same dude that's like, it just needs to be. He's like, yeah, man, because yeah. And then they got like robots and they go all over the world. It was like, sit down, hush, don't talk. But at that point, we're trying to all get it approved. But that's what happens if you get somebody that's, And again, we were trying anything to at least get that, that green light. So you go in saying, well, we can make it work any way y'all need it to work. Because I was like, yeah, that's no problem. I could see that being really dope, actually, if we did age it down. And that's something that me and Greg can still do. Like, once everything is on rails and we got production teams and everybody's doing what they're supposed to and they're working on season 3 of Tuskegee Heirs, right? There's no reason to say, just like what they're doing with what they're trying to do with Star Wars before they mess it up, is young, the Jedi Academy, and it's young Jedi and all this. Look, I guess before Anakin did what he did,
I was about to say, which part?
there's a couple hundred years before that goes down, so you can tell some cool stories. But yeah, it's like that cool thing right there is no problem. Yeah, we can go to the early years when the kids are training and they're getting their chops, when they first arrive to Molten Field and all that stuff. We can definitely tell that story. That's no problem for the concept. Yeah. But if you acting like it's not valuable unless we age it down, then now we're talking about, well, hold on, champ, because we're not worried about if the concept that we have is dope. We know it's dope because we would watch it. We're the customer base, and we've got a lot of confirmation from it that it's all we're basing this off of something that already worked. Gundam already worked, Macross already worked, and there's nothing else that actually talks about combining real history with these things like this. So yeah, it's not a surprise that it would work. But if you don't believe it, then that's okay. Just sit back and let us do our thing. That's the crazy part, man. But no, I think that would be the scariest part, man, is letting someone else, and if you're not in the room, and that's another part where at this point, I wouldn't feel comfortable with anybody else pitching with us not in the room. Right. At least being able to say, well, hold on now. wait. Let me correct. Because that's if that guy, go ahead.
My mama just liked this stream. Mama, I heard you got a new car. Can I drive your new car?
Where's she at? She in the chat?
I don't know if she's gonna chat or if she
okay. I was about to say, man, tell what's up.
I want to drive my mama's new car.
Well, man.
I'm sure I used to get on her nerves because as soon as she gets a new car, I don't want to drive the old car no more. Oh, I don't know if she's still in here. Angel A4 Amazing is also watching this live video.
Who that is?
Hey, Angel. Angel.
Oh, very good. Okay, well, listen, man. Yeah, black people share names out in the world. Idiots.
Al said I like to be ready and have my scripts on standby. So one of the things we learned in the pitching process, we were advised not to do like finish your scripts, or because remember we were like, man, we could even get a little bit of animation so they could see it.
Oh, and, yeah.
We're advised not to do any of that stuff because if for whatever reason you don't execute, or they don't feel like, if they look at it and they're like, it doesn't meet whatever standard they might be looking for, it could end up kind of biting you. Yeah. So not to mention giving full script. Of course, signing NDAs is cool, but walking into a thing with like a full script, you gotta be NDA'd up.
And that's still, I was about to say that still may not be enough because they'll be like, no, look, we didn't do it. We did.
What are they making you sign? Like that's another story I can tell. I don't think I mentioned this one, and I'm gonna try not to say the name of this, but it's another like very popular people. So one day I got like a whole bunch of orders from this particular company. It's very well known. Like I've known about it my whole life. And so I was like, oh, what do we have here? So I sent out like 8 different books to people at this company and on this studio lot. And then like a couple of weeks later, they emailed and they were like, "We love Tuskegee Heirs. We think it would be great for an animated series. Um, we would like to meet with you guys." And I was like, "Well, that sounds like something we would be okay with." Talked to Marcus. That stuff was cool. So then she's like, "Okay, do you have representation?" I was like, "Yes, we do." And then she was like, "Okay, because if you don't have representation, they're asking everybody to fill out this document." And I was like, "All right, well, send me the document, because if I can get by with not having to pay, because your attorneys are gonna charge to read something."
Yeah.
So she sent me the document, and I was like, "Ew, nah, this ain't no good." And so I was like, "Yeah, we're not gonna sign that, but we do have representation, so it doesn't matter." So then she came back to us and was like, "Well,
if you don't,
the corporate is basically saying that everybody that pitches to us needs to, sign the document." And I was like, "Oh, well, you was kind of pitching us." Like, you came to us, number one. Number two, at that point I did let the attorney look at it. He was like, "Don't sign it." It had a clause in it that basically, in layman's terms, it basically says that if we pitch to them and then that falls through, like nothing comes of it, and then we years later we see them produce something similar to it, we have no recourse.
Correct.
And so that's basically a license to steal.
Correct.
Tuskegee heroes. So I was like, "Well, we can't, in good faith, we're not able to sign that. I'm sorry." And she was like, "Oh, well, just think about it. Just give it some thought. You can get back with me." We're not gonna sign it. And then she would periodically, reach back out. And I was like, "Nah." And so you want to believe that these people are dealing with you in good faith, right? But at the same time, there's so many horror stories of the industry, getting over on people. And I think because, I don't know, because maybe we do some cool stuff. Maybe they think we're like whippersnappers or something. But we stopped letting people get over on us 20 years ago.
Right.
We said no to a lot of stuff that a lot of people probably wouldn't have said no to. And that's not anything to necessarily be proud of, but there's certain stuff, and we learned this, we did some entrepreneurial stuff back in the day. There's certain stuff that, you create as an entrepreneur and you're okay with, letting it fly, giving it out to the world.
Right.
And then there's other stuff where it's like, "Nah, man, this means more to me." Right. And I can't just give it away like that.
Right. And then you gotta really stop. If you don't know what an NDA is, and you don't understand how it can work for you and how it can work against you, you just, look, in this generation, man, really just go and ask AI if you have to. Break it down in layman's terms. That's the cool thing about AI, is you can actually have AI break something. Say, explain it to me as if I was a middle school student. Because you genuinely can hear something described and broken down. But if it's legalese, if it's in lawyer talk and you're not prone to understanding lawyer talk, it may go completely over your head and you don't really retain the information as you need to. But for real, I actually had to tell a company, and it sounded like a dope opportunity. Listen, y'all, I got excited because I saw who was emailing me, and I don't have to name drop. Just know that I was like, about damn time. All right, let's talk it. Yeah, what's up? And they're like, "Hey, we got a really great opportunity. It's a new this, that, and it's animated." I was like, freaking fantastic. What day do y'all want to meet? Well, before we do, we're going to need you to sign an NDA. I was like, dang it. Yeah, I don't sign NDAs to something, I said, but I tell you what, man, I said, if I'm just being hired as a work for hire, I can't. I can't take anything from you. I assume that you guys are, gonna have copyright out the wazoo and reserve and trademarks. I said, NDA isn't really gonna protect anything, even if I did try. I said, but by all means, I can talk to you guys about art. You don't have to give me anything. Yeah, I'm sorry. Everybody that works with us needs to sign an NDA. I was like, yeah, but do they really? Because if you understand what an NDA is, I said, that's not going to protect you telling me what you want me to draw. Right? I said, let's just keep it one. I sent him links. I sent him, clips from actual all of this stuff. And he was like, oh man, sorry, man. It's above me, man. It's the higher ups. I was like, yeah, can I talk to them? Because I said, this has nothing to do with you guys talking to me about doing some freelance art. I said, I, as a work for hire, cannot take anything from anything. You guys are going to get all of this properly protected, right? So an NDA is not going to stop anything from me as a concept artist. I said, I'm just being hired as an artist, right? And he's like, yeah, sorry, man. If you don't sign it, we can't talk. I was like, well, I guess we can't talk. And I was really upset because I was like, dude,
you should have let me.
I said, I gladly talk to your superiors, man. I said, it really doesn't protect you. I sent him a video of another professional saying, here's why NDAs don't protect crap. And it's not, anyone, he said he stopped doing NDAs years ago because he's like, it's basically saying you lose in court no matter what. If you sign this document and someone complains that something even remotely close to a concept that they put out, you lose in court. That's basically how the dude broke it down in the video. And I was like, oh, is that how this... He's like, why would you ever sign a document that just makes you lose? But
here's what I want to ask you, because like I definitely understand, like if they're sending an NDA, so you don't so you're not allowed to divulge the information about their project.
Correct.
So how does it hurt you if is it something that was similar to something that you're already doing?
That's the problem. It doesn't matter. If let's say I'm not working on anything right now, I have nothing that I'm publishing, nothing that I'm working on, but let's say 5 years from signing that document, I have a character that they say is close to something they have in their story that I listened to, or I signed an NDA, and in that NDA it says anything that's even remotely close to anything in their pitch and their story and their brand, they can technically come back and file a lawsuit and say, hey, you signed an NDA saying that, you weren't going to do anything close to it. And I can say, well, I didn't. And they can say, yeah, you did. Look, this character is da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And if it's even remotely, I'm talking about if it's a mother figure, like the dude broke it down in the video, and I was like, get the crap out of here. He's like, it doesn't matter. You can do something 10 years later. That NDA is, the judge is going to look at it, the attorneys are going to look at it and say, well, you signed an NDA, so yeah, you lose.
No, but that's not all the way accurate, right? Because if it gets to the point where you go to court, they have to prove that you took I guess no, all NDAs aren't set up the same. So yeah. I would have at least wanted to look at it to see what they were covering. If they're saying, because typically it's going to be based off that specific project. It's going to be a little bit broader. It's usually,
I think that was the thing that was the thing that messed me up the most. It wasn't. They weren't specific. They were so broad. And I was like, oh, I've seen these before. Nickelodeon was doing a animation contest. Like, hey, we're looking for animation ideas, and you could possibly win. And we'll take your idea and make an animation show. And I remember reading the fine print, and it's like, it was a pitch competition, right? And somebody sent it to, hey, y'all should go with Tuskegee Heirs. And I was like, let me read. and it got into the whole weeds of, yeah, we technically can listen to your pitch, like, and say if we say no and then come up with anything remotely close, you can't sue us. And it's like certain things, like you're saying, yeah, they'll be specifically, but this one was so broad. I was like, man. I was like, listen, y'all, there's other things, because the guy in the video breaks down, there's other documents. I said, there's some other documents. Yeah, I said, there's some other documents. If you let me talk to your superiors, I said, there's some other documents that are actually really, good for what you're trying to do. If you just want to pitch me working on your characters, then there's some other documents. And they're like, yeah, no, sorry, it has to be an NDA. I was like, no, it doesn't. Please let me talk to you. And he wouldn't. The dude just didn't. He just like, and it just died.
I was like, that's the same as those people I was talking to. I was like,
right.
But we can. You said that we don't. I was like, is there somebody we could talk to? She's like, oh no, they're saying it's kind of like a blanket thing. And I have talked to other people. I think that was like right at the precipice, but now a lot of companies are making that like a mandatory thing to be in contract.
Right.
So it's,
it sucked, and I was very deflated. I was like, God, diggity.
Man, you should have let me read that NDA before you said no. Because like one of the things, if it is broad, then it gives you more leeway to be able to fight it. Like, man, y'all didn't say I couldn't draw a lady with a unibrow. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, I'm mad at you on that one.
Well, listen, man. I definitely.
I know the dude that did the thing. You know what I'm saying? I could have said that.
But it seemed like they knew. He was like shutting it down way too quick anyway. I was like, oh, come on, man. I said, I'm willing to work with y'all. I just you gotta give me something else. Here's some other options. Sorry, man. It has to be an NDA. I was like, I'm pretty sure if I could just show you 2 seconds. It doesn't have to be an NDA, but yeah. I was like, why are you trying so hard?
No, they just like like part of it, they also don't want to work with people who ask a lot of questions. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
Cause I think like one of the coolest things I know right now, the Milestone Initiative, based off some comments that came out, a lot of people are like down on the Milestone Initiative. One of the coolest things they did, and it was funny because somebody from DC actually was talking to me in the mixer and explaining this to me, that so we've heard all the stories of people basically getting jobbed, right? Like creating these characters and never being able to get anything once they go to film and all that stuff.
Right.
Well, she was like telling me, she was like, they have a document, and I don't know how long this has been in place, but it's basically another contract. Like, so if you create a character, that you sign it, like say, I created this character that's going in this book. So give me the document, and they sign you, and they give you a little bit of money for it, and then it's not life-changing money or anything, but they give you a little bit of bread, and then it's written in the contract that if this character goes to animation or movie or whatever, that you're eligible for a percentage off of profits.
Right.
So like they've righted that wrong, but I thought that was cool. Like that let me know that they actually care more about creators, and then they actually did it with us. So we did an exercise. Like they put us into groups, and we created characters for like the Milestone universe.
Right.
And they let us sign the documents, everything. So
nice.
It was cool. So if they ever decided that they wanted to use them, so just all that to say, like there are people that are doing business in good faith.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people that are just like, no, you're just gonna take what we give you. Very similar to the music industry, where they get young people that just want to make their music, and they put all kinds of junk in the contracts, and they just whip you forever.
Correct. That's terrible, man. I just forgot that I gotta get my daughter.
Oh man, you always gotta be a good father.
A good father, man. Listen, man, I already kind of made the promise. I was, hey, daddy gonna come get you. Great talk, man. Shannon, good to have you in, brother. We got I'm gonna get you. I gotta get the designs for this for our. I don't want to call him a villain. He's not a. He's just a. He's a pro. He's what's it? Antagonist. He's an antagonist right now.
Villain. Villain. Say it.
Wow, man, come on, man. Look, he's a villain until proven not. He's a victim of his circumstances right now. But yeah, no, there's some. I gotta get this design. I want Shannon to do a cover for this awesome stuff, man, because I think it'll be cool and he good. So, y'all, thank you for joining tonight. I'm gonna go give it. We've gone over an hour and a half. I had a good time. I feel like this is better than what I designed at first. And
We
I got
did
a little
not
bit.
go an hour and a half. We went an
Come
hour
on, man. I
15
started
minutes.
at 8:30. There we go. See, we got that push. And I may have to get. This is gonna have like some good old fashioned, like his head is getting rung a little bit, you know. Like we gotta show that whole. He got his head rocked, so that's important to show. We gotta show that too. But tomorrow I'll be on. Sorry guys, I was almost late. Luckily I got through traffic, and I need to draw a lot of this tonight and tomorrow, so we can get.
I gotta go
on to
downstairs.
page.
18? Is it 17 right now?
Yeah, this is 17. So we'll be on 18. I gotta finish this page out, so we're not drawing this tomorrow.
Real quick, so I see the colors. I like it. When they're flying, it's like the sun is setting.
Oh yeah.
I like it though. But
yes.
and if they're going east, it shouldn't. I've already talked myself down because at first I was like, nah, it needs to be darker. But if they're going east, they would be flying into darkness anyway.
Gotcha.
So,
Yeah, there's a few. There's only one panel that I was like, okay, that he got the bottom of the panel is white. I was like, no, that's the rest of the plane. So we got to get the rest of the plane in there. It's not an empty white space right there, but little stuff. When he's talking to when you got Senator Shields and Genesis on the monitor.
So Omar? I see what you're saying.
Yeah, and it's just a little white spot.
Empty? Okay.
Yeah, that just got to be filled in and stuff. But and I do want more bounce light from the actual monitors. But remember, I said I didn't really give any hard examples of that. But
yeah, I was assuming you would put something like that in because on the one where Omar's talking to Gina,
yeah,
it's like I was just going to put some text or like a map or something right there, like it is on the bottom panel. And then my last thing, on the page where the door is the panel where the door is kicked in, I feel like it could be more sexy. But is that something you could, like the way the dust is coming up or whatever that is?
Where the door's getting kicked in. Oh no, there needs to be like lighting. There's a light. There's the void of lighting right there.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
We're on the same page.
Yeah.
But they look good.
They do look good. I'm happy. I'm the pappy.
As the pappy. When's the last time you watched that amazing movie, bro?
I watched it. I was in a hotel, and I was watching it because it was on TV, and I can't not watch that movie if it's on. So it came in when they made it to that little whites only pie. No, yeah, whites only pie. You can read the sign. How'd you miss that sign? And I watched it from there on straight, man. I was like, yep, guess I'm watching this tonight. And I just watched it until I fell asleep. It's great.
Classic.
Fantastic.
I'm about to go downstairs and yell because somebody burnt some food. And
That seems like the proper response.
who in the hell?
Right. We're burning food.
Yeah, it's gonna smell. You know, it'd be getting in your clothes. In your shoes.
Did you open the window yet? Why ain't the turn the fan on? So you know, young people do stuff that we used to do, and now I understand the frustration of my mama. Like, why would you just go back to life? Go back to upstairs. It ain't even over yet. You ain't even fix it. Fix the problem first, and then go relax. So yes, thank y'all. I'm gonna go get my daughter. Good to see y'all, man, and definitely come back tomorrow. I was just playing with this. I don't know if I'll keep it. I think Shannon said he got some good notes from it. But the goal is, I ain't gonna get step on I ain't gonna step on Rodney's toes, man, because he's doing a good job. You doing a good job.
Killer is
dead. Yeah. We're gonna post some of that. I promise y'all, we're gonna post some of them pages so y'all can see some of the colors. Or maybe not. I don't know. Should we wait? Should we give him like pieces of it? I don't know. We'll figure it out.
No, my God.
Good night. And get some rest, y'all. We're gonna be back. All right. Peace. I go on Instagram first. And we're gonna go on Facebook. And then we're gonna go on YouTube. Peace, y'all.